This is unbelievable, right? Unfriggin' believable. So let me share the screen so you can see this book. But hopefully I can have this gentleman on and we can discuss because it's quite substantial. And you can go see him, like I said, with Ann Vandersteel. She did an interview with him. So unbelievable stuff. And let's see if I can go through this a little bit. So this is the Kindle version. All right, unmasking a sinister plot to steal America's soul. She is probably one of the greatest heroes ever. Right? So, and she's, until today, I had no idea. I didn't even know who she was. But I can tell you, this puts together so many pieces of the puzzle, guys. So many pieces of the puzzle. And I'm a historian, dude, right? I love history. I've studied history my whole life. I go deep down the rabbit holes in this stuff, and it's substantial. Now, Lillian's, so this is back in 1912, published expose of their 24-step strategy, later cemented in the congressional record in 1940 by Congressman Dr. Jacob Thorkelson, Montana, unveiled a ruthless plot to erode American independence through media censorship, financial leverage, political alliances, and social engineering. This is back in 1912. They had this 24-step plan, and she revealed it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? She dubbed the Benedict Arnold Society, including Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, Paul Warburg, Elihu Root, and John D. Rockefeller, as Pilgrims Society traitors to America, like Benedict Arnold was during the Revolution. All right, so I've read through some of this. I've gone down so many rabbit holes with this information, guys. It's absolutely stunning. Stunning, right? So hopefully we get this gentleman on. So I'd like to ask him lots of questions because I love history. And he is, wow, he blows it up. He's like, everything Ann asked him, he's like, took it down a huge rabbit hole. I'm like, holy smokes. So I'd stop it, I'd listen to it for a couple minutes, and then I'd do like an hour of research. I was like, what? Unbelievable. So it's really incredible. So from her interview of him, she wrote what they went into. His research traces the development of Babylonian-style debt thinking, taxation systems, and merchant banking networks through history and into the modern financial centers of power. So the Silk Road, from China all the way up into Europe, and it was basically, like I said in the earlier part, it was run by the Khazarians, right? And they had another name for them, and he talks about that. And then they changed their name, and they became the Ashkenazi Jews. And he goes into how they, in their, what do they call it? What do the Jews call their Bible? The first part of it. I can't remember now. But anyway, during the time they were in Babylon, they took on the Babylonian ways of usury and taxation, and they weren't Jews. A lot of these people that were working on the Silk Road, but everybody was like, they thought the Jews were worthy and good people and so forth. So they're like, oh yeah, we're Jews, but they weren't. And they came from all these different cultures, and they ran the Silk Road, and they basically, were taking money from people, usury and taxation, all kind of crazy stuff. Kind of what Iran's trying to do, right? Same bullshit people, guys. Even though the Muslims, especially the Shiite, they claim they hate Jews. Jews were in Persia for a long time. They got a long, and that's one of the reasons why Israel wants to hammer Iran, because they're all buds for a long time, and then the Shia came in and ruined it, right? So that's a little bit of history. Anyway, the Ashkenazi, Jews, we talked about them, and of course, they made their way to England eventually, and once they got to England, they got into the banking system, and then there was a king that came along, Edward the First. He was the first English king to expel the Jews. King Edward the First, in the expulsion of the Jews, and because they were doing the usury stuff, and he basically kicked them out, said, "Take what you got on you and get out. We're going to seize everything else." Right? So they were gone for a long time, for a very long time. So he kicked them out in November 1st, 1290, and then it basically, when Oliver Cromwell came back, city of London, he brought the Jews back. Yes, in 1656. So then the Jews came back into the city of London, and now we have this problem throughout the world, guys, right? Now, why did, there's all kinds of stories of why King Edward I kicked the Jews out. And talk about how they were taking kids and eating them and drinking their blood, all kind of crazy stuff. Sounds really weird, right? Unless you guys know about, the stuff that these guys do at that level. All right, so now, of course, they're not the regular Jews. So this is where it gets all convoluted. And you have regular Jews just like you have regular Christians. And then you have the Ashkenazi, who used to be, the Khazarians, and they changed their name, right? So it's so convoluted that everybody just gets so confused. They're just like, I don't care, So that's where they're at. That's how they've been able to get in and infiltrate and do the crazy stuff they do, right? All right, so now I think that President Trump is acting like he's working with them, because he's got to at this point, and he's using them to basically destroy the deep state, which is, the Shia, right? So I don't know. We'll see. All right. So in this book, they talk about the origins of global merchant banking, like I'm telling you, all the way back to Babylonian times, and then the financial power of the city of London, and financial power of the city of London is controlling the world pretty much. The Pilgrim Society and transatlantic elite networks, the Balfour Declaration, and British Zionism. Now we have Christian Zionism here in America, where Christian groups are really gaga over the Jews, and so Christian Zionism is another problem. So they talk about all these things,